What's happening, folks, on the World Wide Web? Welcome back to another media joint with the Ipaintcreatures and the funky eye puppets. And today brought something really special to my heart out of my archives, and I was looking at it, getting inspired to continue the series of this. This is my first fully self-published and realized, small children's book. Don't Get Mad at the Monster, and it was exciting too because I put it out and really felt it had an impactful message and something that I've always wanted to communicate to younger folks and give a lot of parents with a lot of younger kids tools to, don't get mad at the monster. And just used an incredible method. Used a lot of alcohol markers, and I have some Skillshare classes that take you from A to Z if you want to learn how to paint and draw or get inspired by the way I do things. And this one I did with alcohol markers, just drew the illustration, and now I'm using gouache, jelly gouache, and then to finish it off I use oils. And so it was a really fun, because I wanted a real playful, fun way of doing this. And so this is what's going on here. And I'm going to explore a quote today because I was getting to hear some of the past YouTube stuff on a marathon that the Incredible Funk was doing. And really reminded me my love for this gentleman and what he did for the world, and talking about the late great Joseph Campbell. And today's quote from Joseph Campbell. If you don't know who the late great Joseph Campbell was, he was a world renowned mythologist who just traveled the world and learned stories, especially from a lot of cultures that still weren't technology advanced and depended on their oral storyteller or poet in their village or their town or their province. And basically then he came back and he did what he called comparative mythology, which he showed basically we're all the same under the skin. And his book Hero with 1,000 Faces basically inspired the great George Lucas. So today the quote is, "Myth is much more important than true than history. History is just journalism." And you know how reliable that is. And I completely agree with that. I see times have changed. I've been meeting a lot of independent journalists on the internet, and I think it's a magical art form if they can do it on that. But they have to crank it up to the point where they have to make it professional. So it's very valued in all kinds of circles. But in general, yeah, journalism. I probably pretty much ignored it most of my life. When my father went into the hospital, when I was 10 years old, I pretty much shut down from the whole kind of internet world, media and mainstream internet, media, all the outlets, all the big old media companies, and shut myself off from it, and just basically inform myself with my own art. And then after that, my teenage years found a lot of popular culture, in graffiti art and just popular art from the 60s in the Bay Area has inspired me. And a lot of hip-hop, rock and roll, funk, jazz, a lot of those cool movements, skateboarding, graffiti, all those movements basically, became the journalism all the way up to now, where made a lot of incredible friends across the internet, across the world, and I look to them more on the social media platforms for news than the history, the real history. And myth to me is expressing the journey of the imagination, and all of us have it. We have a pretty much kind of literal life out here. But that's only one portion of really what's going on in the information and the beauty and the expansiveness that goes on inside of us, which can go down very dark paths if we don't share with the other and make sure we're like-minded amongst the people that we really resonate with. And so I believe the myth makers are the artists, and especially the poets in this age, especially after a lot of movements like the Poetry Slam, which I was a big part of, and all the way to bring it back to my really roots of my cultural roots of my grandmother being a Shigin poet, storyteller, and folklore specialist, and basically a spoken oral poet and a storyteller. And bringing that in the times with all these amazing technical tools. It just, yeah, I think it's even beyond journalism. It's bringing, that campfire flame of amazing storytelling in our hands that we can share with people and really find ourselves in a lot of interactive environments, do a lot of interactive storytelling where it isn't just all about us. It still takes a leader and someone who has a lot of vision and is willing to, discipline and put in the time to guide people out there. But when you're out there, definitely get in the circle and, create that, new myth and let it be beautiful. So thank you very much for watching the video, and thank you, Joseph Campbell. Miss you, Joseph Campbell, but you left just so much incredible art facts on this planet, so we can keep expanding and growing, especially as dreamers and myth makers and artists. Peace.